Hi, welcome to the second episode of our Week in Technology. And for all of you who caught our show last week, I'd like to thank you. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Dad.
Okay, and yes, and that's a good time to introduce my co-host, Aisha.
Hi.
And this week, as usual, we start with the same template that we're going to adopt every week, which is, we'll profile the cover story that's coming out next week. Now, for those of you who already know, I think all of you already know that we have our website up again. The re-engineered, and the brand new, all snazzy, jazzy website of www.theedgemalaysia.com. And so you can go to the website. But for those of you who are expecting to see the whole issue of net value in, over the weekend or early next week on the website, it won't happen because as we told you before, we're just experimenting with how we want to get the balance right between having our website, ready and the content there, which mirrors the content in our print edition. What we're going to do in these initial stages is there's going to be a 2-week lag. So you will catch an issue of a net value on the stands, but 2 weeks after that, the whole issue will go online. Now, we're going to experiment with that and see readers' reactions and feedback to that too. As I said, it's an experiment in progress. So please participate with us and tell us what you think of it. But anyway, getting back to the cover story for this coming weekend, which is an encouraging week. Actually, we already spoke about this last week where Aisha attended MDEC's inaugural Creative Industry Dialogue. But one thing we wanted to highlight was that in Aisha's story, she mentioned that there were a lot of students there, university students from Lim Kok Weng and the One Academy. And I just wanted to ask you, Aisha, did you get the buzz, of excitement from the crowd? And did the students pose a lot of good questions? And finally, was there important takeaway from the students that they could use,
Well, going back to asking questions, I think it's suffice to say that normally Malaysian audiences don't ask that many questions. But there were a lot of students, and it was actually an award show for the local DigiCon 6 Malaysia. So some of the students actually won merit awards. So I think it was a good session. It wasn't really buzzing with questions, but they actually had a consultation and advice session with the Saladin team. So it was good because they could share their experiences and knowledge in 3D animation with these kids who are still in uni. So it's definitely it's a good thing.
Okay, that's good. All right. So it was beneficial. Was any feedback to MDEC and how they could do next year's event better? Do you think?
For myself, at least, I think the feedback. I think it should be more of. I felt that it was more one-way interaction.
Okay.
Because it's a dialogue session, so you actually would want a two-way interaction. Yeah. So I think it should be done more on a workshop basis.
Okay.
I think that would be more fun for the students. Yeah.
All right. Good. I'm sure you can email some of your suggestions to MDEC too. Then, yeah. Good. But anyway,
we're going on to
moving aside today, the highlight for this week is actually
the top 65+1 website that we like. This came out the last issue. I actually want to sort of highlight something that we missed out actually in our criteria on what makes a good website. What's missing, which was not written, was actually I think in this day and nowadays, if your website is not searchable or is not being found through search engines like Google's and Yahoo, then that makes a bad website, because you have to, even if you have a good website, if the search engines cannot find you, then there's no point.
Exactly.
So lots of search engine optimization and search engine marketing needs to be done if you're looking at building a website nowadays.
Absolutely. And I think we got a lot of feedback about this 65 +1 website booklet too. Some people, obviously there were issues with people complaining we didn't highlight certain websites, but it's all, to some extent it's also personal preference at the end of the day. And I'll give you one example where there is a website out there called WildAsia, wildasia.net. It's run by a Malaysian entrepreneur. It's a really great website, and they have a weekly or bi-weekly, once every 2 weeks newsletter that goes out to about 2,000 plus people who are registered to receive it. And I know the entrepreneur running it, and I also know his brother, who is a good friend of mine. So I was actually weighing between WildAsia and WWF, .org.my as which website to put on, in terms of appealing to people, in terms of nature and conservation. And in the end, I picked WWF because I thought it was a more well-known brand name. more people are aware of it.
We can go on to the list next year. We actually have a list of websites that we should have, it's probably going to go next year or going to be considered next year.
Next year.
Moving on, there's also a story on Cradle Investment.
Yes, it was their 1 year, 1 year since Nazrin Hassan came on board as the CEO, and also about a year plus since it was moved out and became a company on its own. Before that, it was sitting under MEFCAP. And Nazrin just gave his take on, what they've been doing over the 1 year, and also on what their plans for the year moving forward. And the fact that they've now got a fund which is at 150,000 ringgit, for entrepreneurs to go tap. Because they thought 50,000 was a little bit too much. Then he also spoke about how MOF has been a great partner, in Cradle, doing its job, as well as it has been. So it's a pretty good article, so catch that, in this coming week's edition. And okay, moving on from there, I guess there's one interesting snippet in Aisha's article on this the creative dialogue that we had, and that is on the cost of the script for Saladin, because initially it was supposed to be a movie, and they had to go to the US, Hollywood, to look for a script writer. And the cost of the script was quite interesting, but it's there in the article, so have a look and see how much it actually would have cost if we had gone ahead with the movie idea. But now moving on to that, Aisha, Intel has been in the news again. Intel, reducing its headcount in Kulim, very minimal, but you also have a personal experience with Intel. Would you like to share that with readers?
Yeah, as an ex-employee of Intel, I would say that I'm not surprised that they're closing down more. They've closed down 2 manufacturing facilities in Penang. And I remember early this year reading about it and how they said that nobody would lose their jobs, and those people that lost their jobs in those 2 plants would actually be absorbed by Kulim.
Yes.
And when I read it, I knew that it was just some PR spin that's trying to soften the blow. So now they're closing Cyberjaya also, and some people are being given VSS, and some are being shipped back up to Penang. So after this, it's just going to be Penang and Kulim for Intel. I'd have to say that. It's not just Intel. Everybody's feeling the impact right now. So, it's not a surprise for me that this actually happened. In fact, I think forecasts have said that there'll be more jobs or more headsets gonna go.
Sure, yeah. No, I'm kind of surprised that they're closing down Cyberjaya because it's a high-profile place. Although the headcount is pretty small, right? And I think there are no engineers there, right?
Exactly. I think it's about 100 or 200 employees, and it's mostly sales and marketing.
Okay.
So there's not much R&D there. So in a way, it's good that they're not closing much of their R&D and sort of shipping it somewhere else. They still have confidence in us, but any sort of closure is not good. Yeah,
of course not. Okay, great. There's one little bit of, I think, public announcement we want to make is that we got an invitation from MOSTI to attend a forum on confronting the economic crisis, its impact on the ICT industry. And it's being held on the 12th of March, which is a Thursday, at the KL Central Hilton at the Central Ballroom. And we're going to scan the invite and put it on our website. So go to the website and go to the technology, what do you call it? The technology, it's a microsite yet. Just the technology section, and then you can have a look at this, right? It starts from 8:30 a.m. till 1:30 p.m. on Thursday, again, the 12th of March. Interesting speakers, right? The opening remarks are the Minister of Science Technology, and then you've got speakers like Tan Sri Dr. Sulaiman Mahbub, Director General of EPU. That's in the morning session. And then you've got commentators who will present on the speech. This would include Datuk Paul Lau from FMM Malaysia, Datuk Jamaluddin Ibrahim from TMI International, and also Datuk Bridget Ann, CEO of Alliance Financial Group. And I guess that's all the time we have for this week. And give us your ideas on what you would like, how you like the show to evolve to, okay? Because play a part in molding the show. This is only episode 2. It's going to change. I don't know how drastically, but that depends on what, how you guys want to see the show evolve to. All right.
So any comments and feedbacks is definitely welcome by us, no matter how sharp and offensive they are.
Yes. So bring it on, guys. And anyway, that's the end of the show for this week. Have a great and productive week with technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you.